The darkness had fallen heavily over the park. The silence of the night was broken only by the soft sound of leaves whispering in the wind. On the grass, the body of a victim lay still, eyes wide open and frozen in terror. Fresh blood spread, staining the earth a deep red. Police lanterns illuminated the scene as officers searched for clues among the shadows. Detective Jack Reynolds, with years of experience in brutal cases, couldn't hide his discomfort. The marks on the body were precise, meticulously replicating a notorious crime committed decades ago. Everything pointed to the return of the Blade Killer, a nightmare he thought belonged to the past. A shiver ran down his spine as he observed the cold, calculated work in front of him. The narrative shifts to Anna, an investigative journalist, sitting in her chaotic apartment. The news of the murder in the park stood out on her laptop screen, the headline echoing the violence of a dark past, "Killer mimics infamous crime from the past." Anna couldn't ignore the strange familiarity of the case. In the world of copycat crimes, obsession and violence often walked hand in hand. For Anna, this investigation was more than just a news story, it was a chance to prove herself in a competitive market where a successful report could be her salvation. Rumors said the murders were linked to an online group obsessed with recreating real crimes. It was dangerous, but Anna knew she had to dive deep. Determined, she typed "True Crime Copycat Forum" into her browser. Before she could click any link, a pop-up window abruptly appeared on the screen, white words on a black background, "Welcome to the game, Anna." Now it's personal. Anna's heart raced. A cold chill ran down her spine, and the sound of a notification echoed in the empty apartment. When she looked around, skin tingling, she realized with chilling shock that her camera was on, capturing every second of her reaction. Anna slammed her laptop shut as if she could push away the fear that now lingered in her apartment's air. The message on the screen and the activated camera haunted her. She took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heartbeat. She had to stay in control. The world of true crime enthusiasts was full of eccentric people, but now it felt darker and dangerously real. Determined, she reopened her laptop. If there really was a link between the copycat crimes and an online group, she needed to infiltrate it. She created a new profile, with a generic avatar and a minimal, convincing bio, a true crime enthusiast looking for a community to share theories with. Minutes later, she was approved to join the forum. The homepage was a maze of discussions, each topic more disturbing than the last. Users with sinister names shared detailed theories, crime maps, and even plans that bordered on obsession. But one name stood out: Victor. He was a dominant presence, steering conversations with charisma and a chilling detachment. Victor had started a thread titled "The Perfection Game." The post was a call to the ultimate challenge, to recreate real crime scenes with surgical precision. The language was almost poetic but exuded a frightening coldness. The enthusiasm in the replies was unsettling, the group was eager to prove how far they could go. Anna took notes but felt strangely exposed, as if something invisible was watching her. Her fingers trembled slightly. Suddenly, a private message appeared: "Enjoying the game so far? I hope you're ready." It was from Victor. Panic crept in silently. There was no way Victor could know she was new unless he had been monitoring her. Fear burned in her mind, but she knew she couldn't back down. Still, doubt gnawed at her: just how far was this group willing to go? Then she heard a low noise coming from the hallway. The air grew thick, and Anna realized her front door was slightly ajar. The last barrier between her and the outside world was vulnerable. The sound in the hallway dragged on longer than it should have, a low noise that made Anna's heart race. She stood still, straining to hear any other movement, her body so tense she felt she might break at any moment. When the anxiety became unbearable, she finally forced herself to walk to the door. With her heart in her throat, she twisted the doorknob and peeked out. The hallway was empty, lit only by those flickering fluorescent lights that seemed straight out of a cheap horror movie. Anna slammed the door shut, trying to shake off the feeling of being watched. But the fear didn't fade. It was like a cold stone lodged in her stomach. She returned to her computer, determined to continue her investigation. She had to understand what was happening in that forum and find out who Victor was, this guy who seemed to know more than he should. The forum was buzzing. Victor had posted a new comment, describing the next step in the perfection game. He talked about an old crime the police had never managed to solve. The task was frighteningly clear: to recreate the scene perfectly, leaving no traces. Victor's words seemed to leap off the screen, whispering in Anna's ear. He knew how to manipulate people, playing on their curiosity and adrenaline in a disturbingly effective way. What really gave Anna chills was how excited the other members were. Replies flooded in, full of ideas on how to recreate the crime, from choosing the right location to tricks for fooling the police. It was a sick game, but she was becoming increasingly convinced it wasn't just internet talk. These people intended to do something real. With tension mounting, Anna began to dig through user profiles. Almost everyone used strange pseudonyms, hiding behind anonymity. But something about Victor made her uneasy, as if a connection was about to reveal itself. As she scrolled through his old posts, she found a photo that made her freeze. The image was blurry but unmistakable, her window, the curtain slightly open. Anna's heart stopped for a moment. Someone wasn't just watching her online activities. They were observing her real life. Her phone vibrated, breaking the heavy silence of the apartment. Anna looked at the screen and saw an anonymous message: "Enjoying the view? Because we're watching you." A shiver ran down Anna's spine, and she felt the fear solidify into something heavy and real. Now, the threat wasn't just virtual. It was right there, closer than ever. The next morning, Anna had barely slept. The sinister message and the photo of her window were etched in her mind. The fear was real, a constant presence that seemed to follow her every move. But that morning's news left her even colder. A new crime, mimicking the infamous bridge murder, had occurred overnight. The victim was found in the middle of the bridge, posed to emphasize the horror under the city's cold lights. Every detail matched exactly the discussions Anna had read in the forum. The city continued at its usual pace, but for Anna, everything felt out of sync. The traffic felt stifling, and the world around her pulsed with a sense of invisible danger. The descriptions of the crime left no doubt: the members of the group were playing for real. The perfection game had become a tangible threat, and Victor was the mastermind moving the pieces. Anna tried to focus but noticed a car parked across the street. The vehicle, the same model she had seen before, seemed out of place. The driver sat still but alert. Without hesitation, Anna grabbed her phone and quickly took a photo, her heart pounding as she pretended to go about her routine. When she looked back, the car had already disappeared into the chaotic traffic. Back in her apartment, the blue light of her computer screen made the shadows around her seem more menacing. The forum was more active than ever, the members excited about the success of the latest crime. Victor posted frequently, his messages full of calculated provocations and sinister excitement. Comments sprang up with suggestions for the next hit, as if it were a macabre puzzle waiting to be solved. Anna frantically took notes. The atmosphere felt charged, like a wire ready to snap. A new notification flashed on the screen. Victor had launched a countdown, 48 hours until the next challenge. The words were clear: a promise that the game would continue. The threat loomed over Anna like a sentence, but now, the entire city seemed to be in the crosshairs. They were on the move, and she knew she had to race against time before something even more tragic happened. Anna knew that every second mattered. The forum posts, the threatening messages, the presence of strangers watching her, everything indicated that the game was reaching a new level. Fear was present, but there was no time to hesitate. If she wanted to stop the group, she needed concrete evidence. With determination quickening her pulse, Anna started searching for anything that could incriminate Victor and his followers. She combed through old messages, connecting dates, places, and descriptions of recent crimes. The feeling of being watched didn't go away, as if someone's eyes were fixed on her back. Even so, she pushed on, knowing any mistake could be fatal. After hours of research, Anna found something disturbing, a private conversation between Victor and a user identified only as Shadowhunter. The tone was cryptic, but it made clear that the next crime would be the biggest yet, an event that would shake the entire city. The messages had a conspiratorial tone, a promise of a macabre spectacle, something too big to ignore. Anna barely had time to process the discovery when a new notification flashed on the screen. It was an invitation to an exclusive meeting, for selected members only, at a place she recognized, an abandoned warehouse in the city's industrial area. Victor had made it clear this gathering would be crucial. The time was soon, as if the group was certain no one could stop them. The air felt heavier in Anna's small apartment. The threat was evolving, stepping out from the shadows of virtual anonymity into a physical presence. The decision she had to make was risky. Attending the meeting could be insane, but it was also her only chance to expose everything. She grabbed her backpack, checked that her phone was fully charged, and left, her breathing heavy and her steps determined. As she descended the stairs of her building, a chill ran down her spine. Something felt off. The environment was too quiet, as if the very air had stopped. Anna continued down, but she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was nearby, an unseen presence. The echo of her footsteps reverberated in the empty hallway, a reminder that at any moment, the threat could become real. The abandoned warehouse in the city's industrial area looked like something out of a nightmare. Huge, dark, and covered in shadows that danced under the dim streetlights, the place exuded a sinister energy. Anna approached cautiously, her heart pounding so loudly she thought anyone could hear it. The fear was real, but she knew she had to go on. Inside, dim lights flickered, illuminating the silhouettes of people moving like phantoms between rusty metal pillars. The group was gathered, and in the middle of them, Victor stood out. He seemed calm, almost pleased, like he was orchestrating a chaos about to unfold. The atmosphere was heavy, charged with anticipation. Anna hid behind a pillar, observing the scene. Everything felt surreal, like a horror movie in which she had unwittingly become the protagonist. Victor spoke in a low voice, his gestures precise, and the followers reacted to his every command. Their game was about to take a dangerous step, and Anna felt the tension tighten. Then the sound of sirens in the distance broke the moment. People started to murmur, restless. The police were coming. Anna watched fear spread, turning the controlled atmosphere into absolute chaos. The silhouettes that had seemed like organized shadows now ran in all directions, trying to escape. But Victor didn't move. He looked directly at Anna, and what she saw in his eyes wasn't surprise, it was almost a kind of recognition, as if he had known this would happen. Taking advantage of the confusion, Anna ran outside. The red and blue lights of police cars illuminated the darkness, and officers sprang into action. Someone grabbed her, shielding her as the chaos unfolded behind her. The warehouse was crumbling, Victor's empire of secrets falling apart. But Anna knew, deep down, that this wasn't the end. Victor had made it clear, the game never really ended.